beautiful day here in the Funding for Good home office. Mandy and I are getting a lot done, and we wanted to address a topic that has been of interest to several of you, and that is what to do if you need to amend a grant budget for your project after it's been awarded. So if you are like me, you sit down, you're writing a grant, and you're imagining all the ways that you want to spend that money. And you make your line items out and you say, oh, we're going to use this amount for staff development or this amount for program materials and supplies and marketing. And you create a project, you send it in, and when the award notification comes in, you're ready to celebrate. The problem is things have changed since then. Maybe you've lost a staff member. Maybe you added a staff member. Maybe you ended up with more people registered in the program than you anticipated and you need more materials. Whatever the reason may be, sometimes we find ourselves in the situation that we need to amend a project budget. So there are different ways to do that. If you have a state or a federal grant, those are usually reimbursement grants. Not all the time, some of them are. And in the guidelines, there are specific areas that address this issue. I know when I had a state grant for an after-school program, they would say, you can amend 10% of any given line item and transfer those dollars to another line item as long as it did not exceed 10% of the line item that was receiving the new dollars. So if I had a line item for marketing materials in the amount of $2,000, I could take up to $200 and allocate that into another line item as long as that line item was at least $200 or more. So that's how that works. Sometimes modifications and amendments are already included in your guidelines, so the first place I would check is there. The next step should be contacting a program officer. The program officers are there to help you, and as one recently told me, we don't want to take money back. We want to make sure that our dollars are used to create the greatest impact. So if you truly need to float those line items to a different area and can prove how that's going to generate a greater impact, we will consider it. It is important to make sure you note the reason, the amounts you want to change, and how that could impact the final project. If you get the green light, try to get it in writing just to be safe. Make sure the program officer sends you an authorization email saying, yes, you may amend those line items with the specific details. Then go ahead and make those changes, notify your board and program staff, and make sure when you submit your final grant report that you include that notification that the project budget was changed. Sorry about that, they're changed. Because many of those reports are pre-populated with your initial grant information. So you may notice that your budget line items no longer match up. I would include a copy of the authorization email or the letter from the program officer, or make a note in your narrative about why those dollars and line items do not match up. So quick tip, hopefully you don't find yourself in that situation, but if you do, reach out to your program officer and make sure to get your changes approved.